This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast. This is episode number 168. Whew, that's a few. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me for yet another episode, because he doesn't have another baby, Jared Schultz. Jared, what are you doing to make your wife not give birth? Like, shouldn't you be doing the opposite to try to have her give birth, like, quicker? Earlier?
You didn't think I was gonna be here.
I didn't. I assumed. I've been watching for your updates on Twitter, and you've been pretty silent. And then I saw your one earlier tonight. It's like, still don't have a baby, hoping to do a show. It's like, wow, he really is around. That's amazing.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I want to talk about games because I am having, as I briefly described, the most amazing gaming month of the last couple of years. And why, you might say? Are you going to say why?
Why?
Oh, so not only there's just been great releases on all sorts of platforms. So I was really excited for Transistor because that's the follow-up to Bastion.
So what are you playing it on? PC?
PC.
Okay. I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4. Or I was playing it when I actually had time to play games. What do you think? Do you like it?
So far, yes.
How far are you in the game?
Not as far as I would like to admit.
Okay. So I'm
probably 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. So I'm a little bit past that. I'm a couple hours into the game, and I really like the attack mechanic, the whole combat mechanic. It is really awesome and super deep. You wouldn't think it would be deep. It is really, really good. I am digging it. Yeah,
and then there's Child of Light that came out on the last day of last month.
So good.
Which is a great game. And then I was really excited for Battle Block Theater to finally come to PC because I don't have an Xbox 360.
Okay.
So that came out. Tomorrow is Mario Kart 8. We haven't even got to the iPod, which, I mean, I'm going to be talking about some great games today. And what the crap, Dragon's Quest 8 just dropping out of nowhere?
Yeah, what is that for, all the money, though? It's crazy expensive. But yeah,
it's a PS2 game that is considered an incredible game.
It's rated by some people to be the best Japanese RPG. And it's like, okay, and now I can play that on my phone or my tablet. It's kind of odd. Yeah,
and nobody knew it was coming out. It just dropped.
Surprise.
It's like, oh hey, we're bringing it out, Dragon's Quest 8.
Yeah.
And then the other games that I've been playing, I still haven't picked up Dragon's Quest 8. So Dragon's Quest 8 is a game that I have a copy of on PS2, and and now I'm vacillating. Do I just pick it up and play it on the PS2, or do I want to play this on my iPod? Because that's awesome. So
come on, do you really want to hook up your PS2? Who wants to hook up their PS2? You just play it on your iPod.
My PS2 is still hooked up.
Oh, who wants to dust off the controller and put a game into the PS2? Come on, who wants to do that?
Anyway, so for me, one of the most amazing game months that I can remember, and tomorrow is Mario Kart 8. So
I noticed a game lacking from your list, though.
I don't care about Watch Dogs if that's what you're going for.
Oh, Jared. Watch Dogs is good. I've had 0 time to play games in the last 10 days. I've had a total of 2 hours. That's all I've played. And the only game I played was Watch Dogs. And I've loved my 2 hours of gameplay. And I hope to get more than just 2 hours into it over the next 10 days. But the only game I've played, except for a couple small little things on the Vita and a couple small little things on iOS, has been that game. I've wanted it for 2 years, and I'm so happy that it's finally out. I just wish I could put 24 hours into it straight, not sleep, and just get an IV drip of Red Bull to keep me going.
Here's my other question. When do you think they said summer 2014 for Super Smash Brothers? Do you think it's going to be August, as late as they can? Because it seems like if it was earlier, they would have already announced it.
For Smash Brothers?
Yeah, for 3DS.
It's coming summer. So yeah, it'll probably be July. I'm assuming. That's when I think it'll be out.
I'm kind of secretly hoping that they'll be E3. Oh, and it's out tomorrow,
Yeah,
or
it's in
something like that.
stores. You can download it off the eShop today. That would be really awesome, actually.
All right, so we can get going here because I know that you want to hurry because it's
Yep.
late as anything for you.
Need
So,
need sleep. Really, really do need sleep. So, Jared, what have you been playing these days?
all right, two fantastic games came out this week. The first one is Battleheart, Battleheart Legacy. So the original Battleheart came out in 2011,
Yep,
and it
it was
was
good.
really, really good.
It's
Yeah,
really good.
and we played it and enjoyed it, and I thought it just wasn't super deep, but it was a lot of fun as you're
Hmm.
trying to like draw your lines around to make sure all your guys. It kind of gives you the little bit of feeling of like a mini raid and like a MMORPG where you're
Yep.
controlling all the guys. Um, it's good, but Battleheart Legacy came out, and oh my goodness, it like takes everything that you didn't like about the game, turns it up to 11. It's no longer. It has like a more free-form grid. Because in the first one, like you would go and you would be immediately transported to a battlefield. This one has like walking around and like 3D figures, which it's interesting because they look significantly different, but yet the art style kind of seems very similar,
Hmm.
and it looks really, really good. So Battleheart Legacy is out. It came out a day early. So usually games come out on Thursday, and this one came out on Wednesday. And I have not played a ton of it yet, but it's really good.
Hmm.
It's so much deeper, and you have all sorts of fun, awesome stuff going on.
Hmm.
I very much recommend it. It's kind of like an action RPG type game now, where you're like drawing your guy around and having him attack different bad guys. I haven't got to a point where there's like a team like there was, because there's always a team of four in Battleheart. But it's so far it's a lot of fun.
It
There's
looks
the
so good.
controls. Yeah,
It looks so good. This is one I wish I had more time. There's Mario Kart 8, like you said. There's Watch Dogs. I'm still playing through Transistor. I want to get the Wolfenstein game. There's like a dozen games on iOS I want to get into. It's just we have an embarrassment of riches these days for good games to play. Like there's just so much awesome out there right now, and this is one of the ones that's high up on my list to pick up in the next little while.
yeah, and it's really good. I would recommend making sure you have a little bit more recent hardware for this. So
Hmm.
they recommend iPhone 4S and above, iPod 5th generation, or iPad 2 or better.
I have an
And
iPad
it's
3, so I'll be playing it on that,
yeah, you'll be fine.
which is actually
Um,
really showing its age these days.
really?
Yeah, really. Like over the last couple months, all the games I download are really kind of sluggish and choppy. So might have to upgrade sooner than later, I think.
Yeah, so well, I may end up getting a new one when new ones come out this year, but we'll see.
Hmm.
But it's really good. If
Cool.
you like the first Battleheart, or if you have never played the first Battleheart, it might be worth going up and picking it up. It is different, because like I said, it's more of like a freeform world as opposed to just picking your battlefield. And so far, I think there's only a single guy, but it's super deep. Like you can like customize that guy however you want. You get skill points and all this. So, second game, which for some reason you just highlighted, was called Romans in My Carpet. Um, this is by Witching Hour Studios, which is kind of why it caught my attention. Witching Hour Studios are the ones that did Ravenmark and Ravenmark Mercenaries. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a hardcore turn-based strategy, um, with very serious storylines. And Ravenmark Mercenaries was just a really intense one where you're fighting different people, and that one was like you're trying to build up your little mercenary squad
Hmm.
in the same world. Both very serious, very deep games. Romans in My Carpet is like the exact opposite, but similar, because all of a sudden, instead of having like this serious storyline, they're completely like goofing around, and it's funny, even though some of the same systems are in there. Like, you have your little squadron of guys, and you're moving up next to the other guys, and My only big complaint that I've had so far is you have to have internet connection in order to play it,
No, really? Hmm.
which is kind of strange because it seems like there's a lot of things that I could play it without internet connection.
Hmm.
But I haven't got far enough. It looks like it's very focused on multiplayer. It's $3, and so far I'm really enjoying it because it has all the Ravenmark turn-based strategy, flanking stuff, but it has it in a it's much lighter and much quicker, which is good, because we don't have. It seems like when I'm playing, I don't have time iPod to sit down for a long one.
Sure.
I'm not super far into it. I've probably played this one like half hour ish, because this one also came out on Wednesday. So far, I'm impressed. If you are interested in the game, please let me know. I would love to get some multiplayer matches in. And not you, Lloyd, because you failed me on Front Wars. Just kidding.
No, I did.
And then the last game that I want to quickly talk about is a little game called Plague Inc. that came out forever ago.
Mhm.
For some reason, I just picked this one back up. It's one that never actually left my iPod. It just kind of got buried, and I was looking for stuff to delete, to be 100% honest with you, because I was trying to free up some space so I could get so I could get these new games that are big. And so I was playing through a few of them, and I'd play a few minutes to see if I was enjoying it, and I got like sucked into Plague Inc. again. I played this maybe after the first update, like the 1.1 or the 1.2 update. And when I went and looked, and they're now up to like the 1.8 update,
Wow.
and they have all these like different types of viruses and difficulty modes, and they just have way more in the game. And so I went and I played a couple rounds of Plague Inc., trying to infect the world by mutating my virus so that it would kill you. Um, I did a poor job because I think I ended up like not killing like New Zealand or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's always the hardest one. That and Iceland are the toughest ones to get to.
Yeah. So I did great, except that I couldn't take out New Zealand. Dang New Zealand. But it's a fun game. I highly recommend it. If you haven't played it, it's one that for me I just like to pull up every once in a while, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. So
Cool.
that's the important ones I've been playing. What about you, Lloyd? What have you been playing?
I've been playing, like I said, I've just been so busy. I really want this to go away, but it's not anytime soon, so I'll have to deal with that. I've been playing a few of my standby games that I play every day. Don't need to talk about them because I've talked about them millions and millions of times. But I did pick up this new game called Kiwanuka. I think that's how it is pronounced. And it's this really weird, super atmospheric game that is like a cross between like Geometry Wars, sort of in kind of its aesthetics, like super glowy kind of art style. But it's also like a cross between that and Lemmings, where you have these figures that, or you have this one figure anyway that you control that has a staff, and you can force your characters to do different things, similar to like Wonderful 101, where you could draw a line and then these people all get together and stand up in a line, and then you can tip that line over and make a bridge, stuff like that. It's just this weird, quirky, super fun to play game, and it's been good for me because I can pick it up and play a couple rounds and then not look at it for a few days and then get back into it and play a few more. So if you're looking for a weird, I don't know, like I said, it's kind of like Lemmings. You have this guy with a staff and a whole bunch of little figures, and you draw lines and stuff. It's really bizarre, but it is a lot of fun. Like I just made a huge ass line of these figures for fun. But yeah, little cool little puzzle game. I think it was $3. Definitely worth checking out if you're into puzzling kind of things. And the next big thing that I've been checking out, even though I'm having problems because the servers are down, are CTOS Mobile. And this is the free partner game to Watch Dogs. And basically, when you're playing Watch Dogs on the console, you'll randomly get notices that people are trying to hack into your game. And those people that are hacking into your game are the ones that are using the CTOS Mobile. So it's a free app, and it allows anybody out there to mess with your games if they want. A lot of fun. It's kind of this top-down map mode that basically shows the city of Chicago, and then when someone hacks in your game, they have to basically hunt you down and with a helicopter, and they can call in roadblocks, they can call in other squad cars, and as you level up in the game, the iOS game or Android game, you unlock more skills. But if you are also a player on the console, by leveling up on the Android or iOS version of that CTOS mobile, it actually gives you stuff in the game. So it's like you can play the game without playing the game because you're doing it on a mobile device. Really cool little thing. Unfortunately, it's been plagued by issues. It uses Ubisoft's Uplay network, which has just been hammered. Apparently, Watch Dogs is their highest single selling game on launch day. So there's a lot of people that have been playing Watch Dogs across all the different platforms. And unfortunately, Uplay has been struggling under the load, which makes this game struggle to get connected or find any multiplayer matches. But it's free, and it's definitely worth checking out if you want to see what Watch Dogs is kind of all about. It's not anywhere near what the console version of the game is, but it's in the same world, and it's one of those cool little games in a game within a game type thing. So do check that one out. CTOS, free download. All right, well, that's going to about do it for what we've been playing. Let's get into the news. Jared, we talked about this a couple weeks ago about the Game Boy emulator for iOS. The GBA for iOS was taken down with a DMCA attack or takedown request. Sorry, not an attack.
Request.
So you remember we talked about that, and we kind of figured, well, what's going to happen to this? Is it dead? Is it going to live on in just jailbroken phones? Turns out that it's back. So if you go to GBA for iOS app.com, you can go to their website, and it's alive somewhere else. It's probably located in a different world that or a different part of the world, rather. Not a different world. It's not in like some alternate universe. Oh, maybe it is. Who knows? I don't know that for sure. But it's probably just in a different part of the world where maybe DMCA attacks or requests. I have Watch Dogs on the brain where DMCA takedown requests don't have the same weight as they do to something that's hosted on a U.S. server on U.S. soil. So if you've been itching to play some Pokemon on your iPhone, you can now download GBA for iOS 2.0 again at gba4iosapp.com. All right, moving on. Another, it's back, it's returned, is Dungeon Lot 2. I remember you talking about this game when it first came out, Jared, and how you were so disappointed on how this game had turned out.
Yeah, I went and downloaded it pretty quickly after it came out because I had really enjoyed the first one, and I was just extremely disappointed with it. And they said, hey, our bad, we're going to do better. So they pulled the game off, and it is back. And I don't know how it is because I have not reinstalled it. So I'm sorry that I kind of failed on that part of the news.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just what I wanted to ask you about is, are you even interested in looking at it again?
Ooh, that's a tough one because, I spent quite a bit of time, and yeah, it burnt me, and it just was so aggressive with the in-app purchases. Mm-hmm. And do I really want to deal with that again? I don't really know. I guess right now I feel like I have a lot of other stuff that I'm playing, and that I just don't know if I'll go back to it very quickly.
Sure. No, I get it. That totally makes sense. So it's out there now, Dungeon Lot 2. It's a free download. So if you want to play it, you can do it for free. And yeah, there's still a lot of comments on here with like 1-star and 2-star, cash grab, bad game, those types of things. So while it's back, it might still not be all it's cracked up to be. So your mileage may vary with that. All right, moving on. Last story for this week is EA has shut down one of their longtime game studios, Mythic Entertainment. I mean, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how long they've been EA, but yeah, they've been a studio since the early 90s, right?
Yeah, mid 90s, so almost 20 years they've been around. And Mythic Entertainment is now no more. It's been closed. The reason why we're talking about it on an iOS or Apple iOS podcast, is that these were the guys that made the horrible Dungeon Keeper game that was nothing but a bid to steal money from people that don't have patience or know when a game is horrible and should never be played. So they had a whole bunch of bad press about this. EA got a couple black eyes about this. Mythic got many black eyes over this. And it turns out the final resting point for the studio is in the trash heap, which is really kind of sad to see. Mythic Entertainment's been around for, like I said, 20 years, and now they're no more. So that's kind of sad.
Yeah, and I feel bad about it because I'm sure that the guys there, I mean, they're known for some pretty big projects that they've done that have been good.
They did Dark Age of Camelot, which was one of the bigger MMOs pre WoW. So when EverQuest was kind of dying and Ultima Online was kind of dying, you had like Asheron's Call, you had Dark Age of Camelot, you had a couple other ones like that. And Dark Age of Camelot was fun. I played that for couple of years, I guess. And yeah, I mean, they've done some really good things. And you know that doing all these aggressive in-app purchases and pay or wait timers, which are evil and should be stricken from a game developer's vernacular, you know, they weren't responsible for that. It was EA saying, we want more money. And they did all they could to do that. And now they're basically, a bunch of these people are going to be looking for jobs, which is horrible.
Yeah, you know, you get pushed into doing it because that's what EA is trying to do to all their games, is make them free to play and everything. And you know, this one was pretty egregious. You know, you talk about all the, what was it, like the first time you have to like build something or other, and it's like 4 hours or something. It's like, really?
Yeah.
So in order to build like a little bit more of my little thing, I'd have to spend like 5 days blogging a couple times a day. So anyway, it's really sad that, you know, a game that, or a studio that is so well known and kind of experimented with free to play and got burned in the extreme.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, pour one out for Mythic. They are no more. Hopefully all the people that work there are able to find other development jobs, other places, because it would be really sad to see families hit financially because of greed from a parent company.
Yeah.
That's the way the world works sometimes. Cool. Well, that's going to about do it for news. Like we said at the start of this episode, it's going to be a really short one because, quite frankly, I am exhausted and I need to not be podcasting for 2 hours tonight. So we're going to have one review for you this week. Hopefully it's not the last one before you have another kid, Jared. Why don't you tell us about what game you're going to be reviewing for us this week?
No, it's probably going to be the last one before I have a kid. So yeah, and you know, I'm sure that Lloyd will find someone.
You got to sit up. Your name bar is right over your nose now.
Oh man, I get so lazy. Like lean back in my chair. I want to sit up straight. All right, so the game that I'm going to be talking about is a game called Dream Quest. And this is a safe place, right, Lloyd? So you're not going to like judge me for like how a game looks that I'm playing.
Well, I'm off camera right now, so I could be doing all sorts of terrible things when you talk about this game. But we'll just publicly, I'm not going to judge you, Jared.
All right. So this game is so interesting.
Ugly?
Because it is one of the most hideous games I have played on.
I said it looks like it was drawn by my 8-year-old.
And that's probably a fair assessment. And then the other thing is like the art style throughout the game is completely not consistent. Like the actual like portraits of your characters are actually kind of nice. And then you go in and you get like this little like sketch outline and like your character is like seriously a stick figure guy that you're moving around a dungeon. It's kind of entertaining in that way. Because the art style is the worst, absolute worst. And I hope that these people are successful enough that they can go purchase someone that, you know, like a freelance artist to to help them with their game for a couple of hours, because it wouldn't take much to make this game look better.
Well, I mean, that's probably how they got the character art. Was they hired someone off of Fiverr, or a friend in their art class drew all this stuff, and they just like stole their notebook and scanned it in or something.
Yeah, and so here's the thing: the game is extremely good. Like, you look at it and you have like the lowest expectations, and you play it, and the game is like a lot of fun. It's pretty deep. I got seriously sucked in, and like, we had a holiday weekend this week, and I on Monday played just an enormous amount of this game. Just, playing my little turns. And so here, let me actually describe the game a little bit for you here, because I haven't done that yet. So it is a roguelike where you are a stick figure moving around a dungeon, and you will encounter bad guys, which you will attack. Well, or you can just leave them, but I don't recommend that. And you will get money, and you will get items and experience. So it's very much a roguelike. So you keep going in. It's a randomly generated dungeon, and the way that the game plays out is it's like a deck builder. This is kind of a concept that at least at one point came from kind of the board game world, in that you have a deck and you're kind of building it on the fly with what's available. There's several games that have done this, but yeah, so this is very much that type where you'll come across a new card, and then you'll add that card to your deck, and you'll level up. And so when you first are playing, you're only drawing 2 cards a turn, and then you level up to like level 4, and you get like 3 cards a turn. And it's very much, you start off with 4 classes, I think. So you have a priest, warrior, mage, and thief. And each one of them has a different set of skills that as you level up, you get access to these skills, and all of them have one superpower that you can use on the map. And they, like, for example, my favorite of the starting classes is the thief, because it allows you to get extra treasure chests. However, sometimes you have to be really careful about what cards you add to your deck, because if I'm a thief and I find a treasure chest with like a mana up card in it, so that it, whenever I play it, I gain, it's like an ether or whatever in RPG games. But, you get like 4 mana if it's a level 2. And if I put that in a thief deck, I'm just being stupid. And so you have to be really careful about what you put in your deck, because, it can come back to bite you. And you really want to make sure that your cards are focused. And you'll come across all these random events. Like, for example, you'll come across a monastery that'll allow you to delete cards out, so you can delete the cards out that aren't serving or working well in your deck. And then you'll come across Linda's lemonade stand. I don't know who Linda is, besides my mother-in-law. But and you can buy things that will permanently increase your life or your mana, or give you a few experience points. And you try to get as far as you can, and based on what you do in any given run, you will unlock achievements, and these achievements will give your future characters permanent bonuses. Like, for example, maybe if you beat a certain boss bad guy, then from then on in your starting deck you'll have an attack level 2 card rather than an attack level 1 card for one of your cards. And you're always trying to figure out how to combo stuff together, which is pretty difficult, and you kind of have to figure out different ways to win with every single guy. So the game is it's deep, it's fun, it has a very cool, like, you have to figure out your emerging strategy on the fly, because based on what cards are available to you, because I have this idea for like a perfect deck. However, if I don't come across the right cards, I can't get that perfect deck that will work really well for me. And so I have to figure out a different way to work a strategy. And, basically based on whatever my strategy is, I'll gain access to a new card, and I'll have to say, wait, does this work with my strategy, or is this going to hurt my strategy? And it's just so good. But it looks horrible. and you just have to keep coming back to that. Whenever you look at it, you're just like, wow, this does not look great. And it's just it's an interesting mix of just an incredible gameplay that is a lot of fun and great strategy, and this horrible art that you're just like, really. So yeah, that's the game. It's Dream Quest. It's $2.99 on the App Store. I really enjoy it. However, I can't give it full points when the art is as bad as it is. So right now, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, which is really sad because I don't think I've ever like specifically docked points from a game based on how it looks. But I also don't think I've ever played a game that's quite this ugly. At least not like for years. I mean, because seriously, some of the pictures and stuff are just they remind you of really early gaming.
Yeah, it looks really bad, and like you said, the art style's all over the place, and yeah, it's not pretty.
But the game is so engaging and it's so much fun. And I mean, I got that. Oh, I'll just go one more time, which is kind of the sign of a good roguelike.
Yeah.
And it's just so good, but it looks horrible. So, if you can look past how ugly it is, this is a game to check out. Put it that way. And if you can't get past how well, then hopefully they fix the art a little bit. But yeah, I mean, all the cards have like stick figures drawn on them, or like the cheesiest little like drop of blood for like a it's just like, really.
That's hilarious.
It looks like they made like a lot of the cards in Microsoft Paint. And
Yep.
Anyway, so and then it's like completely inconsistent and all that. So it's really good, and I am still enjoying it, and I can totally see myself playing a whole bunch more of this. I have there's a whole bunch of classes to unlock. You start with the 4 classes, and I believe there's another. Let's look here. I think there's 9 classes. Yes, there are 9 classes available, or 9 additional classes. So, there's 13, I guess. And there's just pages and pages of achievements like that you slowly are unlocking, and every time you do, you get your characters are a little stronger. I have now unlocked a necromancer and a monk as a class,
Right.
And they're both fun. So
Interesting.
it's a great game. It's just I can't get over it. It's anyway. So go check it out. If nothing else, I would go look at the art style so you can kind of
go check it out on iTunes. Definitely go look at this game in iTunes.
just some of the screenshots, and you're just like, wow,
It's unique. We'll say that.
unique. That's a nice way to say it.
Politically correct way of saying that.
But the gameplay's great. So $2.99, 4 out of 5 stars for me. I will continue playing this quite a bit, and giving it another go every once in a while. And
Cool.
Yeah, that's Dream Quest.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jared, for that review. Hopefully, I can get back into doing reviews at some point in the near future when I actually have more than 2 hours a week to play games. This will be something to look forward to, people. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think of the show. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and do that by clicking contact us or emailing us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com. You can call our voicemail line at area code 505-VG-Podcasts, but you should send in an email and wish Jared all the best in his coming baby that will be hitting very, very soon into his life. So congrats again, Jared, and good luck with the next month, because it's going to be interesting. Went through that myself, and it was a lot of fun stuff. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought you were muted or your video froze. It was a lot of fun, and I do actually kind of miss those days. So I envy you at the same time, as not want to be you because of the lack of sleep you're about to get.
Yeah, I've done it once, and
Yeah.
It'll be a little more interesting this time.
It's worse the second time, but it's still fun, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So
Yep, I'm excited. And so when you hear someone else, don't worry, I'll be back eventually.
Exactly. Once he's caught up on his sleep, Jared will be back to.
Unless like Lloyd like ousts me, use this opportunity to stage a coup.
That was my hope, but you spoiled my plans, so now I can't do that. You've spoiled it, Jared.
I caught you. Haha.
All right, guys and girls, thanks for tuning into yet another episode of the Touch of Gaming podcast. Thanks again for staying tuned, and we'll talk to you soon-ish. Take it easy, everybody.